Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 428 Shibuya Scramble. This might be the second to last episode we do. I'm not 100% sure, but the remaining stuff that we have to do I don't think is that long. I don't think, at least. But that does not mean that there isn't a decent chunk of things that we still have to do. Alright, thank you, Jack. Alright, so I want this one. So first off, we're going to explore that fucking labyrinth before we do any of the actual bonus stuff. Take us to the labyrinth. Come on. Ah, shit. We're stuck rereading a bit of it. Gulp. So, this fucking labyrinth is an absolute mystery to me. Alright, come on. Alrighty. What the heck? What is this place? Alright, pitch black void. It's a dungeon. It's like a fucking vector graphics dungeon. Branching path. The honest one tells no lies. A liar never tells the truth. One is honest, two are liars. See if you can find out what's true. Seeking the truth, huh? Let's go right this time. Hello. I have whiskers. It's a hint. It's saying that whatever it has whiskers. It'll leave you with a warning. There's a liar in here. A liar? Yes, the blue cat is a liar. Only the green cat tells the truth. Keep that in mind in me anyway. You must believe what the blue cat tells you. I know the green cat is full of shit. I remember that. Unless it's different every time. Go left. Hey again. Greet him unenthusiastically. I can't move under my own power. Oh shoot. I wrote can't move by mistake. Tried to row out the misspelled words, but only managed to smudge the ink around. Later then. Hey, hold up! What is it? Well, kind of messed up the note I just took. And hurry up and fix it. Sorry about this. Okay, got it. Later then. Hold up! What now? I had to ask, are you the liar? No, I'm not. The red one is the liar. Really? Really? You can rest easy on that. Now I really do need to be going. Okay. It's from the passage to the left. Yeah, I remember. It's not sweet, so go to the right. I'm round. That's right, and that's no lie. It's the red cat who tells lies, after all. We can't hurry to Bar's path. Wait up. You don't need to be in such a hurry. Have yourself a little rest before you go. I don't have time to dilly-dally. It doesn't need to be for very long. No, I'm heading off. Frown in consternation. You really shouldn't rush so much. It's bad for your health. The flurry paw swipes. The cat wiped its signboard clear, then it scurried away, scowling back resentfully at Minarikawa as it went. Followed in the same direction. Alright. Let's go right. There's no doubt about it. It's the exit, broken to full-on sprint. And yet, no matter how much he ran, he couldn't seem to reach his destination. But as far as he could tell, the exit got no closer. The hallway was getting lower and narrower, and the ceiling had descended to just above his head, and the walls had closed in until he could touch both simultaneously. He had to turn sideways to continue. Still he pressed on until he no longer had the space to stand. Then he dropped all fours and crawled along. Eventually he was forced to writhe along on his belly. Even then, the distant view of the outside seemed impossibly far away. He went on until the passage was a mere 30 centimeters wide. Scrunching his body up, he forced himself even further along. Finally, he could see that the exit was getting near. It looked like he was maybe 10 more meters to go. Minarikawa stretched himself out like an earthworm, inching his way along. And then, unexpectedly, his outstretched right hand thrust through the opening and emerged outside. He felt the warm caress of the air against his fingers. Whoa, what the? He thought the exit was 10 meters away. There was really just 10-centimeter hole right in front of him. He tried to back up, only to discover that his body was stuck, and there was no way he could go forward through that tiny hole. The only part of him that remained free to move was his hand on the outside. Hey, somebody help! He flapped his hand around, shouting through the opening. Somebody get me out of here! Sometime later. An urban legend spread through the Shibuya, a tale of a hand that would appear out of thin air, grasp unexpected passengers, and then spirit them away. Dungeon of some sort. Okay. I wish I could skip all this. One is honest, two are liars. See if you can find what's true. Seeking the truth, there's something I'm fired up about. Let's go to the left. Black and white. It's a hint saying that whatever it is black and white. By hints like this, I'll eventually be able to solve some riddle and win the challenge. No questions, please. All you get is what we're in here. Now go forth. More importantly, there's a liar in here. Of course, I would never tell a lie, but everything the red cat says is untrue. The red cat is a liar? Yeah, bold-faced liar. The boldest faced of all. Bold-faced, huh? Keep careful notes with that pen of yours and carry on. Bye. Let's go to the left. Go down the same couple of paths again. Meow. Yeah, green cat, you're full of shit. I'm sweet, so it's edible then. No, it's not. Everything the blue cat says is a lie. Mustn't believe it. The only one who speaks the truth is me, the green cat. Okay. But if everything the blue cat says is a lie, then that means the red cat tells the truth, which counteracts what you say. I already know he's full of bullshit, but does that get me closer to whether blue or red speaks the truth? I don't think it does, actually. I think I'm still stuck. Actually, no, wait. If the green cat is the liar, then that means the blue cat tells the truth and he's a liar. So that means the blue cat. It's the blue cat. The blue cat is correct. So it's black and white, it's round, and it can't move on its own? Or was the can't move on its own from the green cat? Ah, fuck, I don't remember. I do know that it's black and white, though. Bottom a long letter along. It's too dark. Keep going. Keep going. Do. Reach T. Sweet smell from the left, which means we go right. Fuck you. No one's here. Please wait. There it is. It does not have 4 legs. Okay. Large hole. Okay. So it does not have 4 legs. It is black and white. And I think it is round and cannot move of its own power. Let's go to the left. Don't follow the breeze. Go to the left. Oh, good job of making it this far. It is not yellow. The aptitude, huh? No, not especially. Not especially. Seriously? You don't think I'm some no good liar, do you? Aren't you a liar, though? My, how disrespectful. And after all I've done to give you good info. Well, that's it. I'm done. I quit. Green cat out. What do you mean, good info? Nope, too late, man. I ain't telling you nothing. You get jack squat now. Wow. You're pretty pissed off, huh? Harumph. Go ahead and let that lying blue cat deceive all I care. Hippity hoppity away. What the heck? It's a cat, not a rabbit. This is dumb. Oh yeah, he jumps down this time. Just before crashing, he spun around in midair and landed nimbly on his feet. Here, feline muling coming from the passage to the left. It does not have 4 legs, so we have to go to the right. Path of similar, suddenly his field of vision opened up. Uh-oh. What the heck? Where am I? Oh no! I'm back here. I've done this before. Return to the entrance. Let's go to the right. Bullshit. Doesn't have whiskers. Let's go to the left again. Okay, so it cannot move under its own power. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, let's go. It wigged it to the left, so go to the right. Okay, so it's round. Scowling resentfully. HT, a breeze was blowing to the passageway on the right. We go to the left. Ah, you're back again. It does not live in Africa. Red Cat only ever tells the truth. Just get out of the way then. Onward from here. His tongue. Did you just click your tongue at me? Of course not! This cat is the same person. I'm fairly certain the cat is the same person. They're just wearing a different suit every time. Jump straight down. Alrighty. Gymnast following a routine. Let's go. We moved at a four-way intersection. Feel my movement coming to the left and right. Fuck it. What is this cat? Read closely. Written here is the truth. To the sign. Sorry, just what the heck is this? It's the truth. This is it. That's right. Okay, but I have no clue what it's supposed to mean. Stop your yapping and just note it down. Copying the crude sketch onto the palm of his hand. Hold it right there, Buster. What's the deal with that scribble? Scribble? Did you go drawing garbage like that? Share the truth with you. Hey, I just drew the same thing you've got drawn on there. Don't give me that, you punk. Look closer. You'll see that right here I've... Oh, whoops. Blue cat quickly withdrew. Something I just scribbled down to kill some time earlier. Give me a sec. Waited while the blue cat spooky slither loud as it rode me. The whole process rather slow. I don't have hair. Now read this. I don't have hair. That's the truth. You got that, right? Yeah? Yeah, sure. Make sure you note that down now. Words on his palm. Oh, and don't let yourself get tricked by the red cat. See ya. Dive! Oh my goodness. Set off briskly down the corridor. Hey, looks like you finally made it. Hi. It was a brown cat who greeted him at the next room. Congratulations. Bowed repeatedly in satisfaction. Oh, I made it through already? That was easier than I expected. Let an amused snort. Song whiskers bobbed gracefully. Now then, based on the hints you've gathered, you need to answer my final questions, it said. Are you ready? Sure thing. Once you've given me an answer, you can't change it. Alright? There's only one correct answer. Only one. Are you ready? Given the hints from the honest cat, what is the answer to the question, who am I? Oh. What? I can't go back up. I can't go back up. Why can't I go back up? What the fuck? Who is the honest one? I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it. Go. Plummeted down the hole. You died! Oh, come on, man! Fuck! What is this place? Sound of bestial war. Okay. I can't pass over it. I can't go back up. Oh, what a bunch of bullshit! Ah! Alright. Alright, the first choice was a lion, the last choice was a banana. Both of those are wrong. It's not on 4 legs, and it's not... Right. And it's not yellow. I need to actually read the other things. I didn't know I couldn't go back up. Oh, that's such bullshit, man. Damn it. I've been in this labyrinth for ages. Fuck. It won't let me go, man. It won't let me go. It's keeping me here. It's keeping me captive. Left. Didn't I basically alternate? I feel like I basically alternated. Alright. To the right. Help me. Help me. To the left. They just need to get back to that stupid brown cat. He's gonna jump down the hole. No! Sure. Alright. Feline muling. He goes to the right. Read closely. I have the truth. Go. Water. I don't have hair. Cool. Thanks for the tip. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. I'm pretty sure I just go straight to the brown cat now. Hi. And now you just gotta answer some questions I have for you. Give me an answer, you can't change it, alright? Only one. Are you ready? Given the hints from the honest cat, what is the answer to the question, who am I? No. No. No, it's round. Othello pieces? What are Othello pieces? They're round. They're black and white. Othello. Othello pieces. Who's the honest one? I'll give you 10 seconds. Go. Blue cat. Go! That's correct, the brown cat said cheerfully. Now then, please make your way inside. Norikawa headed down the corridor. Found himself facing a grimy door. There's no other way to continue. Here he goes, he thought. He gave the door a hearty kick. What the fuck? Does the story continue? No! What? That's so fucking weird. Also, hang on. That should be it. Yep, there we go. Alright. So now I have a bunch of other stuff that I need to go through. Because there's the fucking special episodes. Okay. So we need to go to Osawa. Need to go to 12:30. Okay. Is that really all you have to say, sir? I'm scared. There's something I'm supposed to be looking for, or do I just wait here? Ah, okay. Oh no. Kajiwara looked across the interrogation room table at the robbery suspect who sat opposite. Please, the detective said, all I ask is that you tell me what you know. What's in it for me if I do? The subject leaned back in his seat and crossed his arms, smug look on his face. Casual observer glancing in at the door would have had trouble deciding who was interrogating whom. The less experienced detective would probably have blown a fuse. What's in it for you, huh? Kajiwara remained as detached as ever. Over years of interrogation practice, he developed a laid-back, low-pressure style. Well, if you don't give me anything, I'm just going to have to keep talking. By now, their back and forth had been going on for quite some time. Kajiwara stole a glance at his wristwatch. It had been after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I know you didn't have lunch, so I bet you're hungry. Here, eat this. The detective produced a deep-fried curry bun from his pocket. The man eyed it dubiously. Would you prefer a banana? Asked Kajiwara. The man cracked a faint smile as he accepted the curry bun. Sure it's okay doing this? Why wouldn't it be? Isn't this an under-the-table bribe to get me to incriminate myself? Why, if I testify in court that I was coerced into giving a confession, then I'll bill you for the curry bun. With tax, it comes to 280 yen. The suspect was taken aback. 280 yen? Isn't that kind of expensive? They're handmade from my favorite bakery. Waited in line myself to buy them this morning. Kajiwara took another curry bun from his pocket for himself. Two ate in silence, a temporary cessation of hostilities. Need something to drink. The detective produced a carton of milk from his pocket. I hate milk. Gives me indigestion. I see. Kajiwara reached back into his pocket. This time he pulled out a cup. Whoa, hey, hold up. The man's expression turned quizzical. What is that? It's a vessel you use for drinking beverages. No, I know what a cup is. Kajiwara pulled a teapot out of his pocket. It was filled with scalding hot black tea. This shouldn't upset your stomach. Go on, have a cup. Seriously, hold on. Oh, are you not familiar with black tea either? No, that's not it. The man slumped his hands on the table and glared back at Kajiwara. What are those with your pockets? How much stuff do you have packed in there? How much? Shall we see? Kajiwara reached a hand into a pocket. He proceeded to pull out a comb, a handheld video game, some rice crackers, a screwdriver, a folding umbrella, a stuffed Tama plushie. Wait. The man waved his arms in agitation. How the hell do you have so much stuff in there? It's quite convenient, really. That's not the point, man shouted. Interrogation room door opened and another policeman stuck his head in. Detective Kajiwara, may I have a moment? From the look on the other officer's face, Kajiwara surmised at once what was going on. There was a new case. He stepped out of the briefing room and his colleague explained the situation. We received a tip-off that a wanted individual has checked into Shibuya Central Hospital under an assumed name. Leaving the robbery suspect to another detective, Kajiwara prepared to head to the scene. When he got to the motor pool, however, he found that all the squad cars had been taken out. Without much choice, he hopped onto a bicycle. He took a rotating police light from his pocket and set it on the bike's basket. Then he pedestaled away at top speed. Upon arriving at the hospital, Kajiwara hurried into the lobby. He scanned the area looking for a suspect. The individual in question was 180 centimeters tall, weighed 90 kilos, and had a big scar near one eye. Kajiwara recalled hearing that he was a former rugby player. His colleague, Detective Kano, had been a rugby player too. From what Kajiwara had seen, most rugby players were quite physically capable. This arrest would require some finesse. Aha! The detective nearly voiced his surprise aloud. A large-statured man was sitting on one of the sofas in the lobby. Surely Kajiwara couldn't have gotten so lucky right off the bat. He quietly approached and peered at the man's face. The fellow had a big scar near his eye. There was no doubt about it. This was the wanted man. Excuse me, Kajiwara said calmly. The suspect started, then lunged forward and gave him a powerful shove. The man was even stronger than Kajiwara had imagined. The detective went sprawling onto the lobby floor. The man took off running. He was unremarkably quick for someone who was supposed to be sick. Once he made it outside, he snatched Kajiwara's bicycle and zoomed away. Damn it! The detective pulled a skateboard from his pocket and went after him. The culprit took a look back over his shoulder. His jaw dropped in astonishment. He sped off into a nearby parking garage. Evidently, he had some sort of remote control because a shutter dropped down to close the entrance behind him. What the heck? Taking a chainsaw from his pocket, Kajiwara cut through the steel shutter like it was paper. When he stepped inside, he saw that the suspect was taking the elevator to a rooftop. By the time Kajiwara reached the rooftop himself, the man had hopped over the guard fence and leapt to the building next door. The cook grinned at him, his face flushed with triumph. There was a good 6-meter gap between the buildings. Kajiwara would never be able to make that jump. Aha, I got just the thing. From his pocket, he pulled a long rope with a grappling hook on one end. Hurling the rope with all his strength, it hooked onto the fence of the adjoining building. Yeah! Unleashing a battle cry, the detective jumped and swung to the next building. The suspect was dumbstruck as Kajiwara stood before him. I think that's enough of this little game of tag, Kajiwara said. But there was still a glint of defiance in the criminal's eyes. He crouched low, shoulders hunched, and arms at the ready. It looked like he was going to launch into a rugby tackle. Kajiwara couldn't stand up to a head-on charge from someone that big. He might well go careening off the edge of the roof to splatter on the concrete far below. Should he dodge aside then? No, if the guy was a rugby player, that would be no easy feat. The culprit stared him down, then began to rush forward. Dodging wasn't an option. Neither was bearing the brunt of the impact, which left only one thing. Aha! Kajiwara pulled a hose from his pocket. The kind used by fire engines, 15 millimeters in diameter. Take this! Before the criminal could land the tackle, the limp hose suddenly plumped up. A massive torrent of water gushed forth. The burly man was blasted backwards as if he were an empty paper bag. There's more where that came from. Kajiwara continued to unload water on the man, battering him into unconsciousness. When he looked down at the culprit laying there on the rooftop, he quietly shook his head. If he hadn't tried to resist, none of this would have been necessary. Kajiwara himself was drenched head to toe with water. He reached into his pocket for his handkerchief. His hand stopped. Kajiwara sighed and shook his head. All the days to forget his handkerchief. No. What? What is happening? Okay. It's fine. Go to Maria. At 4 o'clock. What should I do? Deal with it myself. As I walk along, I begin regretting my decision. Okay, here we go. But as I walk along, I start regretting my decision. I can't find a good place to throw the cat suit away. Okay. This is weird. Masamichi Fukuma. Crunch, 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 crunch. Masamichi Fukuma sits on a cardboard box, nibbling away at some rice crackers. Crunch, 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 crunch. Fukuma is in charge of making deliveries for a costume rental company. Once he gets an order item to his destination, his job is pretty much done. Today his mouth is on autopilot as he stares at the big screen TV in the office. The afternoon variety show is doing a feature on the big reveal concert for legendary hard rock band Z Japonica. Ha! Fukuma let out a big yawn. There's nothing interesting in the way of news either. He considers pretending that he has another delivery and taking the company vehicle over by Aoyama Cemetery, where he can sneak a quick nap. Suddenly, the door to the room swings open. Bounding through it comes a pink rabbit. Fukuma quickly stands at attention. He does this because he's afraid that the rabbit is his father. His father owns this rental company and has recently grown so fond of mascot costume that he's rarely seen outside of his rabbit suit. Most of his employees don't even know what he actually looks like. "Ooh, sorry I'm late." A woman's voice emerged from the rabbit's mouth, panting raspily. Now that Fukuma was calmed down enough to process things, he recalls that his father's costume is brown. It's a wild rabbit. The pink bunny costume is one the company has on hand for rental. Fukuma lets out a sigh of relief. "I'm here to return this." The rabbit squirms in an attempt to remove her head, but she can't quite reach the fasteners. "Here, let me help you with that." Fukuma gives her a hand and tugs the head off by the ears. The head pops off, revealing the attractive, slightly ruddy face of a young woman. Her hair is done up, the beads of sweat run down her neck. "Thank you so much, that's a huge help." The pink rabbit with the girl's face smiles. Fukuma swallows. His heart skips a beat. "She's perfect." I'm supposed to have this back by 5 p.m. Is that still okay?" Fukuma checks the clock on the wall. It's coming up on 5 o'clock exactly. "Yes, that's quite alright. If you can just take the costume off now." "Oh, good." Relief shows on the woman's face, then just as quickly vanishes. "Oh," she says in dismay. "Wait, no. What's the matter?" The woman looks away. "The suit's really hot, so I'm not wearing a whole lot underneath." Not wearing a lot. A flurry of appealing images rush through Fukuma's head. "I'm sorry to ask, but is there a room someplace I could use to get changed?" "Of course, yes, a room. I can show you to a room." Shyly, Fukuma leads the young woman to a spare room. "Once you're done changing, just let me know." He gently shuts the door and then starts to head off. A grin of discomfort stops Fukuma in his tracks. Right now, the only ones in the office are him and this young woman. He presses his ear to the door and hears the sound of a zipper being pulled down. "Oh, my arms." You can hear her squirming her way free of the body piece. The arms are always the toughest part when you're new to the things. He imagines her twisting her body this way and that as she strained against the costume. Fukuma's breath quickens. "Okay, let's just..." Whoa! The sound of a piece of furniture being knocked over comes through the door. Are you alright, miss?" Fukuma calls out hurriedly. "Sorry, I just tripped." "Are you hurt?" "I'm okay. Things just really hard to get off. My sweat has the fabric all stuck to my skin." Stuck to her skin with sweat. Such simple words to fiercely entice a man's fantasies. "So, what should I do?" she asked meekly. What should I do? What does come next? Fukuma's fantasies run all the more wild. "I'm sorry, it's really awkward to have to ask this, but would you mind coming in here?" There it is. Her idea, not mine. Yes! Yes, yes! Yes, of course I'll head on in! Carefully, Fukuma opens the door, the woman standing near the rabbit suit halfway off. Her slender shoulders are exposed beneath her frowning face. He also notices that she is rather well endowed given her slender frame. I'm sorry, I think the zipper along the back is snagged on the fabric. It won't come down. The woman turns to show her back. Her smooth, pale skin glows. Her sweat glistens in the light. Would you mind giving me a hand with this? Uh-huh! Fukuma's voice spikes unintentionally. The woman quickly whirls around. She draws her hands up to her chest. She can't take his eyes off her cleavage. Hey now, just where are you looking? God, no, I'm not looking at anything. Fukuma's voice forces himself to cover his eyes with a hand. Peeking between his fingers, he gets a glimpse at her face, red with anger. It's okay, he assures her. I know where everything is, even with my eyes closed. All right, if you be so kind, then. At least she seems relieved. She turns to face the window, again presenting her back. Now's my chance. Fukuma's eyes snap back open, and he drinks in the sight of the young woman's back. You're not looking, are you? No, of course not. I can see your eyes are open in the reflection of the window. Oh, sorry. This time, Fukuma really does close his eyes and begins groping forward in search of the zipper. Eep! Hey, watch your hands. Sorry, just my way around. My back is just really sensitive. Man is a troubled animal. Simply hearing that her back is sensitive has his blood pressure spiking through the roof again. His hands shake with excitement, and somehow his arms get lodged inside. What? Eek! Sorry. Her bare skin is slick with sweat and wonderfully smooth. It's been years now since Fukuma last had a girlfriend. He feels his mind might short circuit out of joy and excitement. He shouldn't do this. He has to calm down. This is work. He needs to be professional. This time for sure. Fukuma vows to himself. Eep! The woman drops down as if weak in the knees. She then proceeds to shuffle away from Fukuma. Oh, this is bad. This time it's real bad. Her posture has made the curves of her backside visible. She crawls on all fours toward the wall in an attempt to get away. That wasn't on purpose, Fukuma pleads. Seeing that she isn't listening, he steps in front of her, spreading his arms wide to bar her way. First time my hand slipped because of the sweat. I made sure to be more careful the next time, and look, it's the zipper's fault. Abruptly, the door swings open. Standing there is a wild rabbit. Yeah! Fukuma! The rabbit's long ears were like devil's horns. The creature marched slowly into the office. It's just a costume, but somehow its fur appears to stand angrily on end. Fukuma needs an excuse. He needs an excuse and fast. That's not what it looks like. I was just trying to help her get it off, and he doesn't get to finish his sentence. The rabbit swings its fist with all the might of a king of beasts. What the fuck? Alright. Kano! Kano is at 1525. That word, Kano threw a punch. Stanley soaked up the rage-fueled blow, his face a mask of calm. Such was all. Did I miss it? Sense the truth in Stanley's words. Okay. Can sense the truth in Stanley's words. Alright. Okay. Rumikudo. Alrighty. A special episode. I'm not sure I get what you mean by special, but you're not sharing a bunch of half-truths about my daughter with anyone. Yeah. Wait, what? That's what I'd like to say, but you worked too hard trying to find this thing, so it'd be rude to leave you with that. My name is Shizuo Kudo. Rumi is my only daughter. Maybe it's presumptuous of me to brag, but today, let me talk a bit about her. A woman's words. Rumi is beautiful. After we walked around Shibuya together today, I feel that more strongly than ever. All the other women out on the street made my Rumi look even more dazzling by comparison. That's how good her looks stand out in the crowd. There's no end to the trouble that comes your way when you have a daughter that gorgeous. You never know where or when some low-life boyfriend might latch onto her. Still, using the techniques I fostered during my police days, keeping tags on Rumi's daily activities isn't too difficult. When she heads someplace even slightly dangerous, I make sure to tail her from a distance in order to keep a watchful eye on her. When work doesn't let me do that, I have one of my off-duty colleagues go in my stead. Let me tell you about what happened one summer several years ago. At the time, Rumi was in high school, and she told me she was going to a firework festival with her friends. There was going to be tens of thousands of people at the festival. Tailing her in a crowd that size would likely be impossible. And so I entered a bid to be the person in charge of security for the event. I drafted up a high-level security plan and got to head things up on site the day of. Thanks to that, the event went off without a hitch, and I was able to keep my Rumi completely safe. I may have gone way over the security budget, but what else was I supposed to do when my daughter's safety was at stake? No doubt there are people who think that I go too far in my actions. To those people, let me make one thing abundantly clear. I most certainly do not go too far. In fact, if you saw how lovely Rumi is, you'd probably think I wasn't going far enough. And I'm not saying that with any parental bias or anything either. I'll have you know that Rumi was chosen as Midoriyama's Academy's Miss Midoriyama too. I don't have any part in making that happen. I did consider orchestrating things ahead of time, but didn't have any connections with the Ministry of Education, so that wasn't an option. My point is, I've put my strongest efforts into taking care of my daughter. I have loved her uncompromisingly. And yet, I need to accept that someday she'll leave the nest. The problem is that the guy she fell for is a detective. That was my blind spot. I never considered that Rumi might fall in love with a detective. Choosing a civil servant as a marriage prospect is all well and good. Still, if he's going to be a civil servant, he should be anything but a detective. Lately, though, my insistence on the point has been starting to waver. After the long years I spent working as a detective, I could tell that my girl is really thinking that with every word, every little change in expression. Rumi's feelings for her boyfriend are the real deal. She loves him from the bottom of her heart, and he's very dear to her. Maybe she even loves him more than her own father. He's the man Rumi chose. He's probably got his act together, too. The fact that he's a detective still bothers me, but I can't deny my daughter her happiness forever. When I think about how she feels, I wonder if I should let her marry him. But I'm a stubborn man. I've been opposed to their getting married this whole time. My body language says it clear enough. No detectives. And if that alone is enough to make a guy back down, well, if that's the case, then good riddance. I can introduce Rumi to a fine civil servant who isn't a detective instead. Maybe in about 10 years or so. Alright. I wasn't expecting that. Alright, Minorikawa. At 15 o'clock. What? Oh, this one's complicated. Okay, so should I tell them? Answer B. Then go to Achi at 0:15 to the surveillance room. Okay. Rather than head directly for the surveillance building. Rather than head directly for the surveillance building. Alrighty. So here we go. And now... Okay, there we go. Ryoko Kakinuma. Her name may not ring a bell, but you might recognize her as one of the waitresses who works at Cafe Le Trek. She's currently enrolled in law school at Midoriyama Academy. Her hope for the future is, of course, to become a lawyer. Revisions to the bar exam has made that challenge a trifle easier, but it's still a tough obstacle to overcome. She practically studies in her sleep, listening in on trials in one of Ryoko's hobbies. Listening in on trials. She takes the Tokyo Metro Hibiya line to Kasumigaseki Station and then heads to the nearby court buildings to observe whatever's going on there. Ryoko is especially fond of the district court, which handles the first hearing in local cases. Trials can be quite interesting. They're like little dramas about human emotions and desires. But recently, in the course of her courtroom visits, Ryoko found herself with a new reason to be present. She'd caught sight of a man in the courtroom who utterly intrigued her. She wanted to approach him, wanted to talk to him, but it was never going to happen. Now then, shall we begin? His low, honeyed voice made Ryoko's heart melt. Would the defendant please come forward? The man who had so fascinated her was the presiding judge. His eyes gleamed with cool intellect, while his wild shock of hair hinted at a rugged individualism. Ryoko couldn't help it. She wanted to be closer to this man, but the judge's bench was very far removed from the visitors' gallery. Oh, what can I possibly do to get near him? Should I sully my hands with some crime? If I did, he'd have to look at me in the eyes as he rendered judgment. The more absurd Ryoko's fantasies grew, the more the judge consumed her thoughts. Today, as she waited for a court session to begin, she could think of nothing else. Ryoko sat in the visitors' gallery wearing a brightly patterned dress. Would he notice and find her change of style appealing? What if he thought it didn't suit her? She vacillated between getting worked up in a good way and a bad way as she imagined him thinking one thing or the other. You're always in here, aren't you? Ryoko turned at the voice to see a group of middle-aged women gathered behind her. All of them had gaudy, dyed hair and sported gold necklaces and rings. And who might you be? Ryoko asked with some trepidation. Made eye contact with him earlier, didn't you? Huh? Don't play dumb. We know the score. This wasn't making any sense. What are you talking about? The woman's face abruptly turned sour. You need permission from the boss first, one of them said. Otherwise, how could we possibly maintain order? Look, I really don't know what you're getting at here. Could you explain from the beginning? Ryoko asked. The woman sighed in unison. That's a newbie for you, said one. Now, we were all like that at first, said another. Very well, I suppose. Allow me to explain. When the woman stepped in front of Ryoko. We're groupies of the judge who's about to show up. Ryoko's eyes went wide. She'd never imagined that a judge could ever have groupies. But, the older woman continued, if we simply do as we please, we'll be a nuisance to the poor man. And when, of course, what we want is to be supportive. The other women nodded in agreement. Yes, don't make it the first move. Don't try to give him anything. Just look. But don't make too much eye contact. And no hogging him for yourself. We share him with everybody. That's just the basics of groupism. A normie like you coming along uninvited. Well, you'd best take care not to cause trouble. Groupism. Normie. These were clearly jargon, but Ryoko had no idea what they might mean. Hey, are you even listening? One of the women asked. Yes, I am. Just sorry. I don't really understand the words you're using. Groupism is the practice of helping your fellow groupies. Normies mean regular old normal people. Oh, sure. I get it. Yoko inclined her head. So what did you want with me? If you're going to make eye contact at that man, you need to be a member. What? Ryoko may have indulged in some flights of fancy, but she was content simply to look. Being part of their group that came here to obsess over the judge sounded like a total nuisance. I'll pass, thank you. I'm fine just looking at the guy by myself. The old woman fiercely narrowed their eyes. I heard that! You just referred to his honor as a guy! I do believe that's on a violation of Article 2 of the agreement. The agreement has been violated. Punishment must be meted out. Yoko recoiled at the older women flew into an uproar. Look, ladies, your weird pact has nothing to do with me. How dare you! As the women stood glaring at each other, court staff and officials began filing into the courtroom. The judge was among them. Rather than cease their bickering, however, both sides elected to escalate. Be quiet, the judge called out angrily. I'll have you all thrown out. But none of the combatants would even hear him over the sound of their own voice. The groupies had launched into a rambling tirade about their way of life, the generation gap, their academic history, social standings, and stock indices. As a form of argument, it went far beyond unproductive. Ryoko had been pushed to her limits. How about we have him settle this matter for us, she shouted. The other woman abruptly fell silent, taken aback. This is a courtroom. Let's ask the judge to decide who's in the right. Ryoko rushed to the front of the visitors' gallery and called out to the judge. These women are being weird, right? Could I please have an official verdict? The other women were quick to fire back. This young lady's at fault for not knowing her place. We've done nothing wrong. The judge stared at them, his face suddenly a mask of stern deliberation. Ryoko and the others held their breaths. You're both in the wrong. Stern rebuke elicited pleas of joy from Ryoko and the other women. More, say something else, please! Oh, please, deliberate some more! All of you behave! The judge's tone was even harsher now, but Ryoko and the others only shrieked more gleefully. I said behave! The judge roared. He hurled the object he'd been carrying at the giddy group in the gallery. Bulky and heavy, it hurled through the air. Ryoko and the others reached out their arms, each struggling to be the first to get their hands on it. Lunging forward an instant, Ryoko landed the catch. I'll be taking this, thanks. With a cry of triumph, she dashed out of the courtroom. As she exited the building, she could hear the older woman cry out in dismay behind her. She grinned gleefully, clutching her prize to her chest. It remains her proudest possession to this day. That judge's personal copy of the Compendium of Laws. It's so stupid. I love it. Alright. Let's head back to Minorikawa. There's nothing you can do about it. Alright, so now we need to go down to 1605? Yeah, the Stumbling Man. Is it fun hitting people with that thing? Okay, hang on. Headed to the publish shop, and again, I can get you there in 10 minutes. Okay. There's no way I could have found any of this shit. Like, no fucking way. Hey there. Need a ride, sir? You're heading to the publish shop in again. Okay, so this is... cool. Is this, No, it's Chiaki Iso. Underneath the dazzling, brightly lit sign was a staircase leading to the basement level entrance. I stood at the top of the steps. Maybe I should have turned this one down. No, I couldn't think like that. There was no way I could turn this down. I've been completely broke with no money and no other way in the offering than Mr. Mino gave me. An offering when Mr. Mino gave me this chance. I've been tasked with the page of the monthly 4-star general gossip, and I wanted my work to live up to his expectations. I had to do it. But it all started several hours earlier. This is a new establishment that's popular with middle-aged and older folk, Mr. Mino said. Now I'd like you to go there and get an interview. I was a bit startled by the request. It's popular with old guys. Is this place something risque? The core demographic for the gossip was older men. This readership was often baited with lewd articles. But if the place in question was a porn shop or something similar, wouldn't it be better to send a man instead? No, Mr. Mino said. It's not what you're thinking. It's perfectly fine for women to go there. What sort of establishment is it, then? Mr. Mino cleared his throat. From what I hear, they yell at you. Yell at you? Like, you pay them to get mad at you on purpose? That's right. What for? That's what I'm sending you to find out. I've made an appointment for you, so get going already. Mr. Mino barking kicked me into gear, and I found myself heading over to the place. With some trepidation, I made my way down the stairs. People got mad at me all the time when I was out on the job, so I couldn't understand why anyone would want to pay for the privilege of being chewed out. I opened the door at the end of the hall, and my ears were immediately treated by the sound of women's voices snapping angrily. I told the young man working as the host that I was there for an interview, and he led me to a waiting room. There were female employees in there, glaring sharply at the waiting customers. Why are the people who work here so angry? I asked. Oh, that's the service we provide for free. The young host kept his voice low, but there was pride in his response. Every so often, one of the women would click her tongue in disapproval. Each time he heard it, the older man alongside her would sheepishly cast his eyes down. I hadn't the foggiest idea of why he seemed so happy. I was scared. No, more like weirded out. If I could have, I would have turned around. I would have turned right around and left. But I needed the money, and more importantly, I owed it to Mr. Mino to get the material he wanted. Chiaki Iso, we're ready for you now, said the host. This way, please. Yes, of course. Thank you so much. My voice broke as I gave my reply. Awkwardly, I shuffled out of the waiting room. A woman on a sofa glared at me, shaking her head and tisking 3 times. The private room was maybe 50 square feet. The floor covered with tatami mats. We do hope you enjoy yourself. Please wait here, kneeling in the seiza position. I did as I was told and got on my knees with my legs folded beneath my thighs. I worried that if I didn't, the host would be mad at me as well. As I waited nervously, I could hear voices coming from the room next door. An older man and a woman were speaking with animation. Oh, bless you. Are you really sorry, you miserable little ingrate? Bless you, bless you. What the heck were they on about? How could something like this be fun? You sure seem to be enjoying yourself. I looked up to see that a woman had come into the room while I was distracted. Not every day a girl shows up here. Did I hear correctly? You're here for an interview? Yeah. And do you know just what it means to be scolded? She was older than me and had the bearing of a private secretary. Now she loomed above me with a condescending glare. All I could do was peer back up at her, down there on my knees. Who told you were allowed to look up? Sorry. I quickly broke off eye contact. Where are you looking? Look a person in the eye when you're talking to them. First it was don't look, now it was look. This was absurd. I just wanted to get this over with as quickly as possible. Huddling in on myself, I focused on that hope. The woman let out a deep sigh of disapproval. Are you going to write an article about how you don't understand why people would go out of their way to be scolded? No, of course not. Don't you lie to me! She belted out the words furiously. Well, go on, am I wrong? What are you doing here? What are you going to do? Answer me! I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to go home. Plus, my butt was getting all sweaty from sitting in Sieza. Look at how weak and subservient you are. You've lived your whole life just running away from your responsibilities. That's why you deserve a chewing out like this. I felt like she'd hit me in my very core. She'd zeroed right in on all of the internal issues I'd been harboring. The fact was, she was right. I'd been a wishy-washy mess my entire life. Back in elementary school, when my gym teacher told me he wasn't going to let me go home until I was able to do a pull-up, I just clung to the metal bar and stared blankly out at the sunset. When I was taking high school entrance exams, there was one time when my train was running late for the test for the school I most wanted to attend, and I just gave up and went home. I was the same now, too. When I was broken hungry, instead of trying to get work, I just lie in bed and stare at the wall. I was hopeless. A hopeless excuse for a human being. No, that was going easy on myself. I was a no-good, worthless, hopeless excuse for a human being. Before I knew it, tears were streaming down my cheeks. What's all this? You think it's okay to cry? People like you are the reason men get all worked up about women using tears as a weapon. Apologize! Apologize on behalf of women everywhere right now! I'm sorry! My voice was choked by tears and ragged with raw emotion. Say it louder. Say it like you mean it. And that's when I noticed a group of people had gathered by the doorway. The host who'd showed me around, the women who worked there, and even some other customers were all watching. I looked up, and they broke into applause. Huh? I blurted, bewildered. Amazing. You really know how to take a scolding. Huh? What? I have no idea what's going on. Everyone just kept on clapping. Don't look away like that. No flattering yourself just because you're getting applause. Yes, ma'am. My audience let out a collective cry of awe at my mewling squeak. But the woman, seemingly unsatisfied, proceeded to scold me all the more harshly. In the end, I wound up getting chewed out for twice as long as would be usual. The club was, kind enough to set that up for me. Really, though, all I wanted was to get out of there and go home as soon as possible. Chucky, you're late. What have you been doing? As I came stumbling out of the club, I nearly ran into Mr. Mino, waiting for me by the entrance. Evidently, he'd come to get me when I didn't make it back by the appointed time. I apologized for not calling him and explained the situation. Thankfully, he believed me. So then, how did the interview go? It went great. I got a ton of applause. And so began another harsh chewing out as Mr. Mino demanded that I explain just what the hell kind of interview I'd been doing. Alright. It's still Minorikawa. It's 12 o'clock. I gotta go back up. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Alright, so we got 12 o'clock. Realize I probably got you a bit riled up. Oh my goodness, that's so far. That's so far into this. Ah, damn it. Help me, I'm trapped. I'm trapped in a never-ending conversation that I can't skip to any point of. Okay, there we go. So now... Cool. You! Taisei Yasuda. Sound of fingers clacking against a keyboard echoed in the dimly lit room. As soon as he'd gotten back to his apartment after a shift at the second-hand shop, Yasuda had gone straight to his computer. Ever since he'd started his blog, his day didn't feel complete until he made an update. And there we go. Taking a deep breath, Yasuda read back over what he'd just read. It's called mixed martial arts for a reason. It's more than just a punch. If your strikes aren't working out, you go for a takedown or something instead. Shared my observation here on my blog, and then the week after, he managed to get his first win in a while. I'm positive that he saw my post. So come on, Funayama. If you're lost in the darkness, just lend me your ear. I'll let you know what to do. Another good one today. Feeling pleased, Yasuda clicked the post button. The floor of Yasuda's 100-square-foot apartment with kitchenette was littered with mounds of martial arts magazines, so many that there were hardly any room to walk. His tiny LCD TV was set to a martial arts cable network. The TV ran 24 hours a day, and he saved the footage to a hard disk recorder. And of course, once a week he would go out to see a fight and then post about it on his shop. His most recent post was typical of his combative tone. He knew that he came off a bit harsh, but his criticism was driven by his love of the sport. His confident online pronouncements did lead to an intense backlash from time to time, however. A few days after his scathing critique of Funayama, for example, Yasuda received a rare response on his blog. The respondent's username was Passerby. That's how he took his opponent to the mat toward the end of the match, right? Seriously, what match were you even watching? And where the hell do you get off offering pointers like that? Yasuda's blood boiled as he read the comment. Where the hell did this person get off? His fingers darted to the keyboard. Huh? First off, who the hell are you? That tackle was clearly just him trying not to look like he'd been taken down. You think that was deliberately set up? Don't make me laugh. Shut the fuck up, noob! Funayama has had a pretty comprehensive career. If he had enough humility to hear me out, I'm sure he'll be able to win. Don't you want him to have a brighter, bolder future? If not, then you can just get the fuck out. I'm not going to delete your comment because I want other people to just see how wrong you are. Satisfied that he had set the record straight, Yasuda went to bed. But the next morning when he checked his blog before he got to work, he noticed immediately that something was unusual. The thread had gotten over 300 replies. Wow, someone sure is full of himself. Quit talking like you know more than you do. Maybe you should try stepping into the ring yourself if you're such an expert. Look at me, I can teach some dumbass what I know. People were having a field day. A few of them had come to Yasuda's defense, but they had been dismissed as sock puppet accounts. He snarled as he stared at the monitor, too preoccupied to even think of heading to the shop. Think he should close the thread? Should he maybe close the whole blog instead? He leaned back and stared at the ceiling, thinking hard. He could only come to one conclusion. I'm not running from this. I'll take on any challengers, anytime, anywhere. Slapping himself on both cheeks, Yasuda started typing out a new post. You guys don't understand anything. Mixed martial arts, as the name implies, involves a mixture of different fighting styles. Karate, judo, wrestling, boxing. You name it, I've done it. I'm watching these fights on a different level than the rest of you. So shut the fuck up, you noobs. I'm going to school you. In reality, not only did Yasuda have no martial arts experience, he had barely participated in any sports in his entire life. The only place he was a martial artist was inside his own head. His new post generated even more comments than before. 20 comments was usually a good day. This time, he'd easily blown past 3,000. Sweat beaded on Yasuda's forehead. It wasn't out of any apprehension, though. His fighting spirit had been ignited. Yasuda! 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 An imaginary crowd chanting his name in his mind. I'm being tested right now. Tested of my love of the martial arts. That's it. I'm not opening the shop today. This is more important than work. He whipped out his shirt, leaving himself half naked. He smacked himself on the cheeks repeatedly with his own palms, then turned to face the mirror. You are strong. You are a champion. Kick some ass. You're an ass kicker. You can do it. Pumped up by his pep talk, he let out a high-pitched battle cry. Yeah! Ow. Yasuda charged over to the keyboard. Feeling ferocious, he started to type. The words rushed out like a wild torrent. Come on, man, he shouted to keep himself psyched up. Shut the hell up, Mr. Yasuda. His neighbor, an Indian exchange student named Mahinder. From the other side of the apartment wall, Yasuda ignored him. After he fired off his post, the internet was quick to respond. When it did, Yasuda fired back again. It was like a fight that had turned into a hell-bent brawl with no concern for defense. Hey, can anyone search this guy's earlier blog post and find out where he is? I'm pretty sure he said where he works. Now the cybermob was picking through the details Yasuda had posted, trying to pinpoint where he lived. Ordinarily, he would have been trembling with fear right now, but he refused to back down. LOL, if you're gonna come at me, come at me. I'll take you on any time you want. I'll show you how to pull off an actual tackle. My only worry is accidentally killing someone. Before you fight me, you'll have to sign a waiver absolving me of any liability if you die. If you're still good with that, then bring it on. After posting his defiance, though, he felt a sudden twinge of worry. What if someone really did challenge him? What would he do? He didn't know how to perform a tackle or even throw a punch, really. Still, now was no time to hesitate. He'd deal with any challenge when it came, by taking it promptly to the police. Several months went by, and the flood of heated comments on Yasuda's blog continued. People had managed to track down his address and had learned his real name, but nobody had come to challenge him yet. In all likelihood, Yasuda's commenters were just like him, martial artists in their own minds only. That being the case, he decided he could go after them for all he was worth. Whoa, hey now, are the loudmouths who come to this blog really all talk and no action? Come on! I said I'd take on anyone at any time! If you got beef with me, come to the statue of Hachiko in Shibuya tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock! Hell, I'll even pay for your travel. You'll need the money for the medical expenses when I'm done with you. Hey Yasuda, it's 10 o'clock, where the hell are you? I'm here. I'm a boxer with 5 years experience. I've been doing jujitsu for 7 years, and I'm here. Don't see no Yasuda, though. Did Yasuda wuss out and run? Let's go to where he works. Don't be idiots. I didn't run off. I was just in the bathroom for a bit because my stomach was acting up. I'm by Hachiko now. How come no one's here? Don't lie, Yasuda. You're the one who's not here. I said I'm here. Where the hell are you? And to this day, the battle of imaginary martial arts versus imaginary martial artists rages on. Each competitor still safely encoded at home. The blog still gets over 1,000 hits a day. I don't like this game anymore. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Sure. I'll do one more. Okay. So I need to go to Osawa at here. Okay, a father asking for help. Okay, these people. And then go to Kano. Kano at 1240. Upon reaching Wait Up. Okay. How far is Wait Up? Okay. It's not that far. Wait Up! Alright. So now it's... Dut, 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 dut. Nice. Who'd I win? Hana Toyama. Perhaps growing up means having to give up some things. It's not fun playing with you, Hana. Go home. She'd probably never be able to forget those words, even when she had grown to adulthood. Hana Toyama loved playing hide-and-seek. None of her friends could find her when she was hiding, and on the rare occasion when she was it, she found everyone surprisingly fast. When it came to hide-and-seek, Hana was the best of the best. One might say she had an exceptional talent. In time, however, that talent turned into resentment. Her outstanding knack for the game made hide-and-seek pretty boring. Nobody could find her when she was hiding, and nobody stood a chance of hiding from her when she was it. And how could that possibly be fun for anyone? It's no fun playing with you, Hana. Go home. Anyone whose best friend said something like that would feel pretty wounded. How about I go easy on you then, Hana said to her pal Rico. I don't want anyone to go easy. We'll have more fun if you're gone, so just go home. After that, Hana didn't play with her friends anymore. If she could bear up alone, she thought, the rest of them would enjoy themselves more. And besides, she never wanted to hear anyone tell her to go home again. Her father never made it back from work until late in the night. This left Hana to spend long afternoons and evenings by herself at home. Around this time was when she started writing poetry to help fill in the time. But as for her hide-and-seek aspirations, those took a sharp turn one day at lunchtime. Aw man, the kid who just transferred into the class next door was amazing! Shigio, one of the more excitable boys in Hana's class, was pressed up close to the classroom window. Man, look at how awesome his reflexes are! He pointed out into the schoolyard. The boys from the class next door were playing dodgeball. One of the teams was down to just a single player. Oh wow, the new kid's the last one left! The opposing team was doing its best to pelt the new student with rubber balls. He managed to avoid them all with nimble ease. Shigio wasn't the only one held captive by the new kid's performance. Soon a whole flock of school children had crowded up to the window. Caught up in the flow of the crowd, Hana found herself standing by the windowsill. I hear he was hide-and-seek champion back at his old school, Shigio said. Hana perked up. They say he can find anyone in under 5 minutes. The classroom let out a collective wow of astonishment. Getting it under the 5-minute mark was pretty impressive. For Hana to get a similar time, she knew she needed to go all out. I hear you said he's gonna make himself a hide-and-seek legend here at the school, too, Shigeo chirped. No, he can't, Hana shouted before she could think better of herself. The classroom fell silent at her abrupt outburst. He can't be hide-and-seek champion. Hana could be stubborn in her own way. She wasn't going to let someone else win the title of hide-and-seek champ if she wasn't part of the game. But Hana couldn't ask to play hide-and-seek with the other kids anymore. Putting her foot down, she wasn't going to do any good. Maybe you want to let him know that then, Hana? This time it was none other than Rico who had spoken. Let's play hide-and-seek again, if we can invite the new kid to play. Hana could hardly have asked for a better suggestion. All right, I'll go against the new kid, Hana's eyes gleamed with an almost feral determination. The competitive spirit that she'd locked away had escaped into the open. And if I win, we'll know who the real hide-and-seek champion is. What's this kid's name? Whoa, go Taro! That was amazing, Taro! It was Shigio's face pressed against the window, calling out unthinkingly. Taro. Several days later, the children assembled at the park after school. Hana and Taro, along with Shigio and Riko, stood in a circle. I've heard about you, Taro said with a challenging sneer. Hana, huh? Pfft, what a dumb name. That's rich coming from someone named Taro, Hana shouted back. Let's do this fair and square, guys, Riko said, keeping her tone nice and reasonable. Shigio could hardly contain his excitement. Oh, this is gonna be so cool! Blah! The rules were simple. When Riko and Shigio were it, whoever was able to stay hidden longer, Hana or Taro, would win a point. If either Hana or Taro were it, the other would win a point if they managed to be the last player found. Taro snickered. Try not to cry when I win, okay? Might want to start thinking of excuses when you lose, Hana replied. The four used rock, paper, scissors to decide who would be it. There was a long series of ties. Each time, Shigio would blurt out, "Oh, wow!" Hana was about to suggest that they split into two groups of two when the stalemate broke. Oh, wow! Shigio alone had thrown something different, and so he was it. It was time for the first round. Hana employed a hiding while moving tactic, skillfully shifting positions to stay in Shigio's blind spots. She didn't send Taro anywhere nearby. While she stayed hidden, wondering just where he could be, a rock came hurtling through the bushes right in front of her. Hearing the rustling sound, Shigio came running in Hana's direction. Oh wow, I found you, Hana! Ah! Shigio's voice broke into falsetto as he shouted. Wait, did Taro do that? Hana huffed to herself, so vexed by the rock. Hide-and-seek became a much more complex affair after a player had mastered a few tricks. Hana's hiding while moving technique was one of them. Another such trick was to throw a rock far away from yourself in order to draw the seeker's attention away. Taro must have done that, and the side effect was that Hana had gotten caught. Hana could tell she wasn't going to be able to coast through this competition. If she let her guard down, she'd wind up losing. She had to change her approach. Victory would be hers. She was not going to give up her spot as the school's hide-and-seek champion. A new fire burned in her eyes. It was time for the second round. Once again, Shigio wound up it after losing rock, paper, scissors. Things were quite different than they'd been in the first round. Right from the onset, Hana and Taro was ordered to rock throwing. Shigio was easily misdirected by the sound of stones landing here and there. Come on, guys, this is dangerous, Riko exclaimed, standing up with the grass after a rock whizzed by her, wound up the first to get caught. Soon afterwards, the clumsy misstep on Taro's part settled the round. He was about to throw another rock when he accidentally stepped on a dry stick with a loud crack. Found you, Taro! Wahoo! Now it was 1-1. After that, the competition became a steady back and forth between the two. With each new round, the winner and loser kept switching off, with no clear victor emerging. Shigio and Riko were starting to get fed up with things, and so it was decided that the next round would be winner takes all to settle the match. No way am I going to lose, Hana vowed inwardly. One final round. Taro was it. Taro closed his eyes and began counting. 1, 2, 3. The others scattered at once. Hana quickly hid herself in the bed of a truck parked along the road and bounded one edge of the park. 8, 9, 10. Taro finished counting and stood up. Just then, the truck's engine revved up. Huh? The truck took off, and with Hana still aboard. What? Continued in Teruo Toyama's episode. Ah, fuck. I've accidentally left things on a cliffhanger.
Oh no!
Alright, so now I need to go back to Osawa to change it. Yeah, father asking for help. Alrighty. So yeah, let me just change that back, and then next episode should be the last episode. So thank you all for watching, especially if you got this far. And stick around. Because there's a lot more to come.